who is very, very, very motivated to share with you some information that he wants you to implement. Okay? He's a good friend. I heard about him way before I met him. When I met him, it's like exchange of energy, right? It's like, right? I saw him speak, and he's in the back of the room going like this, you know, like he is now. And, you know, he's an incredible man. He's the CEO of a company called DNet, Digital Networking. I'm going to just bring him right on up. His name is Casey Eberhart. He's a fantastic man, and you're about to learn so much about digital networking. Come on up, get Casey Eberhart.
Are you guys in as good a mood as I am?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get started here, but I want to set the stage just for a little bit for our chat together tonight. There are going to be 4 conversations that occur over the next 45 minutes. Okay? The first conversation is the one that I'm going to have with you. This is a participation, so I'm going to say stuff that totally challenges already a lot of what I've heard in the room. I might throw a little wrench in it, and I might offer some different ways, some different angles. Come on up, come on up. I don't bite unless you pay extra. So there's also going to be the conversation that you have with me, and that's the participation part. Okay? There's also going to be the conversation that you have with each other during the breaks, murmuring under your breath, thinking I'm a goofball, whatever. And then the most important conversation is going to be the conversation that you have with yourself. It's that conversation that I'm most interested in for the next 45 minutes, turning off. I am going to tell you some things and share with you some things that are factual, that you're not going to think are factual, and that's okay. I don't operate from a I think, I feel, I believe type of mentality. I operate with data. I am a nerd, period. Right? I wish I would have played Dungeons and Dragons as a kid, but I missed. I was too interested in band and debates, so. Yeah, exactly. You can laugh, it's okay. I am here to serve you, so I want you to ask questions. If I say something that doesn't make sense, or you say, hey, why would you say that? Let me challenge that. I love it. You're not going to throw me off. I'm not going to sell you anything, okay? So I want to get that. I'm not going to, at the end, try to sell you something, because here's the thing. As speakers, I actually think we do you a disservice when we get up and try to sell you something, because how am I supposed to know where your business is and what your business needs? Just because I created an ebook in a day, that's not fair to you, okay? So I want to take that pressure off. What I am going to ask at the end of tonight is I'm going to ask for an evaluation form for you to fill out. If you like what I say, give me some high marks. If you don't, that's okay. Write a low mark. I don't really care. But feedback is how I operate my business, right? Which is a lot of times what we miss as entrepreneurs. We say, oh, well, I think we get my business from referrals, right? How many of you get business from referrals right now? Raise your hand. Okay, let me ask you this. Do you guys, how many of you buy stuff on the internet? Raise your hand. Really high if you bought stuff on the internet. Okay, now, how many of you sell stuff on the internet? Okay, now keep your hands raised, keep your hands raised. Don't change your mind. Now, every person in the room had their hand raised and saying you buy stuff on the internet, but look around at all the people that don't sell stuff on the internet. Could be a problem. Okay? Let me ask you this. Stevie, if you move to my hometown and you say to me, Casey, hey, I know you're really well networked and I know you know a lot of people. I need a good OBGYN. And I give you a name and number of an OBGYN, right? I know that this could go down a really bad road right now. Are you going to go Google that name before you call him? Absolutely. So here's the question. You all say you get referrals, and some of you say you don't sell stuff on the internet, but then you all say you get referrals. But then I just asked her what you do when you get a referral. Most people will go Google the referral. So isn't it a fair assessment that if she goes and Googles the OBGYN that I said is the best OBGYN on the planet, and she can't find the OBGYN on the internet, but she's tooling around, or she sees them and it's a crappy website, or it's a website built in 1977, but it was cool in 77, right? By just sheer nature of her playing around on Google, isn't there a higher likelihood that she's going to find a better OBGYN just based on web presence alone?
Yes.
Right? So the real question isn't how much of your business are you generating from referrals. The real question is how much business are you losing by not dominating your market space on the internet. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Is that fair?
Yes.
Right? Now, part of this that we talk about is all about messaging. Right? You have to be able to craft and create a message that A, somebody cares about, not what you care about. Nobody really cares what you think at all. Your customers have their own wants, needs, and desires that you have to communicate to. And you have to get out of your own ego in figuring out what that is. Right? How many of you were here last month with Mr. Mamma Mia Maurice DeVito when he came and spoke about Mill? Several of you, okay? Now here's the thing. He has a boot camp coming up in May. If your message sucks, you better get your ass to his boot camp. I mean, I'm just leveling straight with you. I deal with business owners all day long. I hear the same 15 stories and excuses of why nobody's making any money all the time. And one of the first things it comes down to is messaging. People get it in their own head what they think their message should be. And they don't ask their customers. Right? I so prefer asking a group of soccer moms how they buy than a digital marketing agency that I pay $100,000 to feed me some crappy data. Does this make sense? That's why I like to ask. Like, how many of you use Facebook for your business? And before I say this, I mean have made profit for your business using Facebook. Raise your hand. Okay? And what about Twitter? 1 and an 8. But this is a referral guy, so we got to figure out how we're getting referrals from him, right? Okay, we're coming back to you. It's a good thing you sent me a very nice message on Facebook before we got here. Okay, LinkedIn. How many of you have made profit using LinkedIn? Okay, now how many of you use LinkedIn? So you all are using something that's not generating profit. Okay, that sounds like a waste of time to me, but okay. And what about YouTube? YouTube, video marketing, okay.
You're making a profit.
What?
Which one?
Making a profit using YouTube, good. Okay, 4, 5. Okay, so you guys have been in this meeting. This is a GKIC marketing meeting. What are you guys doing? Or am I to assume you're not making profit?
Both. Right.
Both? Okay. So you're being busy about being busy. You're going to networking event after networking event and milling about with the same people that aren't there to drive any business to your business. Right? Some people might call themselves a networkaholic. We have one in the room. I won't mention who it is. But here's the thing. You guys, we have to start. Hank back here is one of my good friends, and he is a networkaholic.
Does he go to meetings?
He does go to meetings.
That's the problem.
At least 12 of them a week, ironically. But here's the thing. I want you to think back. I want you to think back to the last person that you had a one-on-one networking session with. Okay, does everybody have that person in their mind? Can you even remember who that person was? Yes? No? Raise your hand if you remember who that was. Okay. Now let me ask you this. Were they in an industry that you have passed them actual business? Yes? So you generated a referral for them and you passed it over to them. Did you get paid for that? No. Why not?
Ethics.
Ethics. Why ethics?
I'm a lawyer. I cannot get money from a non-lawyer for a referral. I give them money.
Okay, I would suggest that's semantics. I'll give you it because I don't want to get sued. But I have lawyers that pass business to other lawyers.
No, it's not. I've got other lawyers, but non-lawyers, I get the business when a lot of it is non-lawyers. That's what most of us.
Okay, okay,
But lawyers don't always take themselves easier, so.
okay, okay. Did anybody pass a referral to somebody and actually make some money for passing the referral? Okay. What was it? Infusionsoft? Okay, so that was an affiliate sale, right?
Actually, I wasn't set up an affiliate when I did this, the full commission.
Okay, fantastic. I'm actually going to Infusionsoft tomorrow morning. Yes.
I got one from Glaze Mixer the other day. So a caller went on and said I'd referred her, and they sent me a coupon for $5.
Okay, so they sent you a coupon for $5. Okay. So let me get this straight. I'm not going to pick on you because you're with me. So here's the thing that we got to get our minds in, right? Is you guys go out and spend your days and nights networking with people to build up this big database of people to have, and then you feed them back business and you make no money. But then you continue to go back and build a bigger network. And then you go build a bigger network. And then you pass those business referrals over and then you don't make any money. Right? Wouldn't it be much better to actually get paid when you pass a referral? Right? And look, let me say, for the interest of disclosure, I was a consultant for BNI. I get the giver's gain. I get to be nice to people. I get the, hey, if I give you $10 million of business, you might consider me, maybe if you remember me at the time, somebody happens to say they're going through bankruptcy and they need a bankrupt attorney. Right? I mean, so let's talk about this networking thing, and then we're going to flip it a little to the digital marketing. Right? So here's what occurs most of the time. Okay? Michael and I are going to go networking. We're going to go one-on-one because we came to an event. He passed me a business. By the way, I don't ever take business cards anywhere. You know why? Because the minute I hand out a business card, y'all put me on your list and sell me your crap. But if I collect your business card, I put you on my list and I sell you my crap. Okay, so it's about control of the flow of information. Okay? So Michael and I bump into each other at a networking event, and he goes, hey, I'd really like to get to know you because I want to pass you some business that I'm not going to get paid for. I'm like, cool. So we set up some time. Michael, where do you live? Chatsworth. I live in Sherman Oaks, so about a half-hour, 45-minute drive apart. So we both get ready, put our best clothes on, do our hair up, get in a car, and we drive to Starbucks. We sit there and I say, what about your business? And I'm not listening because I'm worried about the texts that I'm missing and the voicemails I'm missing. He's not listening to me because all he wants to do is talk about his business. Right? So we spend about an hour and a half together. We yammer. I tell him what I do. He tells me what he does. Then we get in our car. What's the first thing we both do when we get in the car? Pick up our phone and go right back to a digital world. Who we missed, what calls did we miss, what emails did we miss, all of that we've completely forgotten. Now, the reason I asked who you last networked with is most of us can't remember. You can't tell me the specifics of what makes a good client or prospect for them, why they would make a good client or prospect. You have no incentive to go out and find Michael a referral. You're just going to sign onto an internet system because it's nice to have some referrals. Right? I don't play that game. For me, I like to play the game hot potato. I'll generate a lead over here, I'll hot potato it to somebody in my network, I'll take a slice out the center, and I'll do it over and over and over again. Because I have a big, vast network. Okay? So now what happens is Michael and I have each spent approximately 2 to 3 hours in this operation, right? So now 3 hours of work time we've spent going to a Starbucks that may or may not ever result in anything, but we're networking. Right? Is that the most efficient use of your time? A one-to-one little networking lunch, my guess is not the best use of your time. Right? Here's another one. Let me ask you guys, how many of you say that you're so busy you can't take on another thing? Most of us, right? I mean, you're entrepreneurs. You all have just tons of free time? I came into clearly a wrong room, right? Are most of you busy?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the interesting thing, and this is something I've never figured out because I figured this one out really early on because I had some of these pounded in my head. How many of you get sick and tired of answering the same 10 questions day in and day out about your business? Raise your hand. Okay, same questions. How much is this? What's your return policy? Why can't I do this? Does it do this? Why don't you digitize those answers in a video And then when some yahoo calls you and asks you the question, instead of answering, you go, hang on, boop, there's the answer. You've just freed up the time. Not only that, you're going to get search engine optimization inside of YouTube or whatever video place you use. So now you're actually driving views and having a place for people to actually contact you if they're interested in what you do. Right? I'm a huge digital marketing guy, primarily because you all buy stuff in that space. Right? Can you guys see how important this digital thing is yet? Do I need to keep going after examples? I will, but I won't. Okay. Nancy McFarlane is here. You guys, Nancy just took a brand new job. She actually is the marketing manager for a really, really cool company that makes clothing out of water bottles, as well as organic cotton grown here in the United States. I buy my mom all the clothes from her company. It's Kika Paprika, and Kim, the owner, is a good friend of mine, and I just am so giddy to hear her. I came so talk to her. She's wearing season 3 and above. Right? Is it good to know the speakers?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll talk about that here in a second. Okay, so let's talk a little digital networking, right? When I go to an event, I'm going to use Maurice and I as an example, and Maurice is one of my best friends. Okay, so he is part of DNET. In the interest of disclosure, he's part of DNET. Bruce Waterman here is also part of DNET. Hank Uloff back here is also part of DNET as well, as is Craig Valine. So you have some of us, when we start talking about DNET, some of us are familiar with it. But as a speaker, when I go to an event, if Maurice and I go to the same event, right, most speakers are going to get up and try to sell you something at the end, right? And some are really good products and some, as we know, are not, right? But at the end of the event, here's what normally happens even for speakers. We sit up here, and you come and you give us your 16 digits and expiration date, and we go, yay, and we run home, and we put you on our Infusionsoft list, and then we try to market you stuff. And we go, oh, we get a big list, and we can monetize that over and over and over and over and over again. Right? But my suggestion is this. Oh, I'm sorry, I got 3 minutes ahead of myself. So Maurice and I, keep me back on track. Help a brother out, Mamma Mia. Okay. So when we both get off of a stage, the difference is I hire Bruce at $100 an hour to follow me everywhere I go in the world. He travels with me. He goes everywhere I go. And what does he do? He sits there with that stupid video camera in my face. Right? Because the difference is, at the end of an event, what I want out of the event and what another speaker wants out of an event, very different. I don't want to walk out of the room with your money. It's not my interest. If you're going to buy something from me, you're going to buy something from me. Right? But what Bruce will do is he's digitizing this. This is being recorded. There's, let's call it 40 people in the room. Right? So, is it possible that when this presentation is done, I could take this video, drop it into YouTube, drop on a description of what actually occurred here, and actually drop on a web form, not just an email lead capture form for some bad bribe of some PLR crap that you're just trying to get my email address with, but an actual way for people to say, hey, I'm interested in what you were talking about, Casey. Drop that into YouTube, optimize it properly, then take that same video, go over to a blog, take that blog post and actually put a picture, a video, the text, a web form, optimize that, and let that run on the internet and actually produce leads and opportunities of people that actually want to work with me. And is it possible that this video will be seen over time by more than 40 people? Yes. Right? So watch, you'll have a lot of people that will come and speak or talk in front of a group, and maybe that's 1-to-1, 1-to-4, 1-to-many, and they don't record it. They don't digitize it. It's gone. Your time is wasted. It's adios. Right? So let's talk about maybe a different way of thinking of networking. So going back to this 400-person event that we just did last weekend. All the speakers there were, how many speakers did we have there?
About 20.
About 20 speakers over the course of 3 days. It was a long weekend. A long weekend. Okay? So all the speakers got 10 minutes to be in front of the room. Okay? Now this is a big entrepreneur room, everybody gigs. Oh, and you can tweet and Facebook and take pictures. I don't care at all. I'm much more interested in the collective digital asset of this event than I am the live event. Does that make sense? So anytime you Facebook, tweet, put your GKIC deal up there, we benefit as a whole digital agency. I need to make sure it gets my good side. So 20 speakers, and we weren't allowed to sell anything. A couple of people sold a little stuff, right? So here's what I did. I got up, I paid Bruce to come down. He walked out, I said, look, I don't care what Craig says, that he was the promoter. I don't care what he said. Get up on stage, follow me with that camera. I want this entire thing recorded so I have something when we leave. I got up on stage, I did my little singing monkey routine, and then at the end I said, hey you guys, look, here's what I'm offering you. Come over to the next room at any time during one of the breaks, and I'm going to get you in front of a video camera, and Don, you and I are going to talk about your business for just a couple of minutes. I'm going to ask you about your business, who's your perfect client, what your website is, what your phone number is, how people can get a hold of you. And I did that 40 times. So that 10% of the audience, 40 2 to 3 minute interviews. Okay? The best part is these people love me, right? Oh my gosh, the speaker's going to talk about me on video camera. And we did. I sat right here. Hey, this is Don, this is Casey. Hey, Don, tell me about your business, blah, blah, blah. You know what happens with those videos? Here's what happens. Those videos get put up on YouTube with a lead capture form that says, if you're interested in talking to Don, you need to fill this form out, and I, Casey, will put you in touch with Don. These guys were in and out in 2 to 3 minutes. I have 40 interviews that are now going to go up on DNet's blog, and we'll talk about DNet here in a second, but if you just want to do it on YouTube, at least that's benefit. But the best part is, I'm going to be introduced to his network. And because I made the video about Don, you know who's going to go promote the video to his network? Don. I just need to be second. I just need to be the guy that's looked at in the video going, oh, he's kind of good. He's well-spoken. Is he a speaker? Oh, he's kind of cool. Oh, Don, he's kind of sharp. I want to get in touch with him. And somebody puts in their information. I now own that data. I own that lead. I can pass it to Don if I want. Maybe I have a referral relationship with Don that says, Don, what do you do again?
Therapist.
Oh, that's right. Oh, of course I picked on the therapist. He can't give me a referral.
Give you a referral.
He can give me a referral. Perfect. So now I can say to Don, hey Don, look, I'm going to go promote that video. Any leads that I generate you, any business I generate for you, I want a piece of the action, 5%. $100, not a $5 coupon. That's why I'm making Hank have a Google Hangout with you. $5 coupon. Okay? I will take that, and now think of this. I will have 40 people who now I will dominate even in their own space online. So somebody goes and searches Stevie Sullivan, perfect example. Huge internet marketer. If you don't know Stevie, you're crazy not to set up some time to go sit down with her one-on-one. Right? Because here's the thing. If I can get Stevie Sullivan on a video, and I optimize the video properly on my blog and on my YouTube channel, the reality is, if I have a better outperforming blog than she does, there is a high likelihood that when people search for Stevie Sullivan online, you know who they're going to find? Me. And then I get to choose whether or not I pass her the leads. I'm hurting you, I know.
In more ways than one.
So you know, she just said one of her brags was that she got to spend time with Mike Filsaime, right? Has everybody heard of Mike Filsaime?
Yes.
No.
No? He's a guru, right? He's fancy pants. Let me ask this. Stevie, did you interview him on camera? So what asset came out of that conversation?
I learned about Google Hangouts strategically.
Okay. I learned about Google Hangouts. Now, could she have, and I'm picking on Stevie because she's one of my close friends, and nobody get nervous. But would it have been a better use of her time to say, hey Mike, you know what? This is so valuable. I want to get this message out to the world. Hey, you know what? Bob, can you take a quick video on our iPhone and just let me introduce Mike and say, hey Mike, I love your stuff. Give me one Google Hangout tip. She has that video. She goes, puts that, drops it on her blog. The search engine optimization that she would get from Mike Filsane's name on that is huge. It was a missed opportunity. Right? So instead of going out networking at all these events, start looking at it, how can I network with each other? Right? So later after the break, we're going to actually do an exercise where you're going to learn how to talk about somebody else. Who better to buy from? Let me ask this. So I just gave a little plug for Kika Paprika, right? What's going to sell more Kika Paprika clothes? Me talking about how awesome they are, my mom loves it, the fact they're made out of soft water bottles, it takes 100 water bottles to make a t-shirt, they have organic cotton made in America, right? And she's like, yes, he knows the bullet points, he knows the bullet points, right? I spoke at their national convention, so I was fed all this. But who's going to have a better, higher likelihood of convincing you to buy that for your wife, your mother, your aunt, your niece, whatever? Me doing it, who has no affiliation to the company whatsoever, just I'm giving this thing an awesome testimonial, or Nancy, the director of marketing for Kika Paprika. Right? So here's what normally happens. We all go to networking events, and at the networking event, we go to a networking event, and nobody's there to buy anything. Right? How many of you go with your checkbook open to buy stuff at networking events? No one. Right? So then we all get up and we give a 30-second commercial for people that aren't going to buy anything. It makes no sense. Hand out business cards to people that aren't going to buy anything. Mix and mingle and figure out which non-buying unit in the room you're going to go spend 2 hours with at a Starbucks. Right? So it's better if I give a 30-second... When I go to a networking event, here's what happens. First off, I don't take business cards. I find the 5 people in the room I want to do business with, they're always the same 5 people. The speaker. Why do I want to meet the speakers? They know the presence in the room. What else?
They know who's important.
They know who's important in the room. What else?
It's really nice to get mentioned from stage.
You can get mentioned from stage. Bam! That's a pretty... Kika Paprika, now here's the thing. I'm doing it live in front of you. I want nothing more than to speak at another Kika Paprika event. Okay? Do you think I now have an in to be able to speak at a Kika Paprika event?
Yes.
Exactly. Okay? So speaker. The next one are the organizers. Why?
They might call you next time.
They might call me next time. What else?
They do this elsewhere.
They do this elsewhere. What else?
And you know everyone else is in the room.
They know who else is in the room. If you're going to bumble around and talk to non-buying units anyways, you might as well find out what non-buying units are good in the room. The organizers know everybody. And then the other 3 are the 3 yap jobs. Right? Hank Uloff, yap job. Mamma Mia, yap job. Bruce, yap job when he's not behind the camera. Stevie Sullivan, yap job. Casey Eberhart, total yap job. Right? But they are the ones that talk a lot. You want to have them, and when I get to know them, all I got to do is go stand next to Nancy, right, in an event, and if she's a yap job, she's going to talk all about me. The other thing they do is they tend to have a higher internet presence. So I'm going to get to know these 5 people, and those 5 people are the only 5 people I am interested in at any given networking event, and the only thing I'm interested in at that networking event, other than how to never ever go back, is to figure out how to get those 5 people in a Google Hangout where I can record a conversation back and forth in a Google Hangout environment that gets dropped immediately to YouTube and start generating true leads and opportunities for each of us based on that relationship. Does that make sense? Is this kind of starting to now you can see why I was saying, you know, B and I are kind of like oil and water at this point, right? Because I don't think that you should go spend all of your time, effort, and energy building out this giant network that then you don't profit from. Somewhere we got that lesson And it's a stupid one, to be honest. That's my opinion. Right? And I love, there are lots of online referral networks where you can go and track your referrals. I have no interest in tracking my referrals. What I am interested in is tracking where my business comes from. And I do that by using a CRM system. Because in a CRM environment, I don't have to do things like, oh, I think that networking event worked. Oh, I believe I get most of my business from referral. Right? If I say to you, Nancy, the last 10 deals that generated over $50,000 for Kika Paprika, where did they come from? Well, let me go on my purse and dig through the networking events that I've been through. Come on, we got to start playing with real data. We got to drive a message, attract people to our message, let them fill out a lead form that actually says, hey, I want to do business with you, and then keep track of that through the entire process. How many quotes have we done? Out of those quotes, how many people actually bought? Out of those people that bought, did we ask them for referrals? Did we even give them enough of an experience to warrant asking them for a referral? Or were we such douchebags that they don't want to do any business with us? Right? If you guys don't know this stuff, this is so important in your business. Okay? I may have gone out of the line with saying douchebag. I can't wait because Stevie is going to send me an email, and hopefully she'll do it in a Google Hangout so we can record it, and you know. Now here's the best part. Now the funny thing is, I'm going to use Stevie again as an example. I'm going to get her on a Google. How many of you know what Google Hangouts are? Okay, most of you. Okay. Google Hangouts is basically a recorded Skype, but it's done inside a Google environment. You can have up to 9 people on it at a time. And there's some intricacies that if you do it through another system, you can have actually 14, blah, blah, blah. You can drop a little lower third on there if you want, but the cool part is it immediately loads to your YouTube channel. So you don't have to futz with, I don't know how to upload YouTube, I don't know. Let me tell you guys something, and then I'm coming back to Stevie. Don't let me forget Mike, how I'm going to leverage you and Mike. Mike and you and Mike, whatever. Let me bring something up here, and I meant to say this in the beginning. I want you right now to think of who your mentors are. Okay? So really quickly, because I don't have a ton of time left, throw out some names of who your mentors are. Frank Kern.
Brendan Bouchard.
Brendan Bouchard.
Jeff Walker.
Jeff Walker.
Les Brown.
Les Brown.
Pete Peters.
Pete Peters. Okay? Keep them coming.
Mike Kings.
Mike Kings, Kiyosaki maybe for some of you, Donald Trump maybe for some of you. You know who my mentors are? You will never hear of them because they're all 15 years or younger. Right? Because I want you to think of this. I want you to think of the snot-nosed 15-year-old in your life right now. Could be your son, grandkid, niece, nephew, the punk 15-year-old. The kid that just ripped the flowers out of your flower beds. Right? Does everybody have a 15-year-old in their mind?
Yes.
Okay, raise your hand when you have your 15-year-old in your mind. Okay, almost everyone? Here's the thing. You have 1,000 days until they become 18 years old. They run the show in 1,000 days. So here's the scoop. You can either figure out how to work in a digital environment where they hang out, or in about 1,000 days, you're going to have to fill out an application to work for them. And I assure you, they won't give you a paper application that you put in a typewriter. Right? So this is about creating an environment where you create a massive digital footprint so when the punk kids come, you're set. Does that make sense? I mean, so I look at it and everybody gets mad at me because I like some of these older mentors and I think they've got great stuff from a motivational standpoint. But when a 15-year-old kid can put a picture up on Instagram and have 1,000 likes within 15 minutes, or put an event up on Facebook and drive 150 people to a pizza parlor anywhere in the world, and we're worried about figuring out, it's too hard, you know what, I'm just going to go to Starbucks and hang out with somebody I met at a B&I group. Right? I mean, we got to start thinking smart. Because these kids, even though we think they're smart asses, they are smart. I hire 15-year-olds in my office. we employ as many kids as possible. And I don't even like kids. But I assure you, I like when one teaches me a YouTube trick that triples the views on my YouTube channel in under 2 days. Right? It's very, this is like no joke. I mean, it's funny, but it's really no joke. We got to get into a digital networking environment. Okay, so I'm going to talk a tiny bit about DNet, and all DNet is really a place for you to put all of these digital assets. And because we're a crowd, we have more weight and pull than you do. Okay? So our blogs, our websites, no matter how much Chris puts in and creates new content on his website and tries to drive people to his website, we will almost always outperform him. Because we have 10, 15, 20, 50 blog posts coming out per day. Right? Google looks at 3 things. Are you relevant, are you current, and are you trusted? Are you relevant? Meaning how often do you put new stuff on your website? So if you haven't updated your website in the last 6 months, 9 months, a year, congratulations, no one cares. What was that, relevant? Relevant. Are you current? Are you constantly updating, adding new stuff? If not, congratulations, you're probably on about page 10, 20, 30 of Google. Good luck. Welcome to another marketing group figuring out how to get your message out in front of 6 or 7 more people. And are you trusted? Right? Are you filled with ads? Are you filled with spam messages? All of that kind of stuff? If you are, congratulations, Google hates you. You have to be built in a WordPress environment right now. That is what Google wants. Today. Tomorrow, they may change. So you can argue with me. I know someone will take me on the hall and go, yeah, but my site's built in Joomla. My site's built in Joomla. They like Joomla. Congratulations, you can think that. Again, I deal with facts. Stories rule, data rules. It's just the way it is. Okay, so I don't really care about any story. I only care about a result. Okay, so here's what we do at DNet. At DNet, we're a subscription-based service that allows our members to add unlimited content to our web properties. We have partnered with a CRM system called Mothernode. It's a $10 million piece of technology. As a full-blown ERP, we won't go into an ERP system, but we've pulled out the CRM piece. Infusionsoft, for as much as I love Infusionsoft, we've actually partnered with Infusionsoft, they are not a CRM. They are a badass email marketing campaign delivery system. Best in the business. In the next 60 days, our CRM system will allow you to generate a lead through our CRM system, do a drop down, and you can actually push it right off to Constant Contact, Aweber, GetResponse, or Infusionsoft. Okay? But we track people, giving them exact data of what they want inside the business. So, in DNet, our members add content to our blogs all the time. So we are a user-generated website, which means we actually can outrank people for their own websites faster than they know what to do. I'm going to use Bruce as an example. Bruce is a marketing manager for an amazing nonprofit organization called Awesome, O-S-U-M, Operating Smiles Uniting Military, and they give free dental work to vets that can't get through the VA system. Okay? So Bruce goes and builds their website. He's got it all jazzed out. It's all really cool. And then he does this. He goes and he makes a blog post on DNet about Awesome. Within 1 week, you guys, our blog post actually outranks Awesome's own website for their own domain name. We can dominate a keyword very, very quickly. Okay? We own an SEO firm as well, so we are pretty much SEO badasses. Okay? So I want to give you an idea. Bruce, can you come here and help me with this?
I certainly will.
Okay, so this is our website, and I wanted to just give you a quick example. Okay, here it is. So I'm going to have Bruce pull up a blog post. Now, how many of you sell stuff for affiliates? Like you're an affiliate marketer, you sell stuff for other people? Do you? Okay. I want to show you guys something really cool. Okay. Here is one of the most profitable blog post digital networking environment things that I'm going to show you just right off the top. Okay? So Jim Fortin is a buddy of mine. He's based out of Dallas, Texas. He has a system called zero effort selling. I don't know, something about selling more by using less, or using less, sell more. I don't even know. Okay? He's very well known in the NLP, hypnotic state selling space. Okay? So here's what I did. Oh, he has a membership site that he charges $48 a month for people to be a part of. And he has a 50% affiliate payout for. Okay, so you all follow me. Anybody I bring to the site, I get paid $24 a month for every single person I bring to the table. Follow me? Okay, here's what happened. Hit the read more. There's the picture I put up of Jim, posted by Casey Eberhart. You can see this was posted December 5th. December 5th. Here's what it looks like. Scroll down. We got our social stage there. Okay, so we're in a hotel, so this is a video that just hasn't loaded up yet. This is a YouTube video where I got him on a Google Hangout, and for an hour we talked about selling. He delivered an hour worth of content. I then put here's a description of his thing, so I'm SEOing that blog post with text. There's a video for people that like video. There's text for people that like text. Okay? Takeaways from the call: what color can you wear that attracts people to you? By the way, it's Dawn's colored blue shirt right there. I'll just give you that little hint. I was trying to wear a blue shirt, but oh well. He talked about 2 awesome word patterns inside that video that will help you sell more stuff. It's actually a really great video. You guys should go watch it when you get a chance. Okay? So here we go. Scroll down because I got to wrap this up. Here's the web form. I say, hey, join Casey Eberhart, CEO, blah, 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 blah. Here's your name, here's your first name, last name, email address. Scroll it down. Telephone number, what's the best part of the call? So I want to survey who's the best part of the call. They hit submit. The second they hit submit, they go right to the buy page for Jim's membership site that we talked about in the call. So here's the difference. Somebody will send a bunch of people to his membership site and some will buy. I went on a cruise. I had 24 people fill out this web form. 13 people bought. No, 11 bought. 11 people bought on the spot. 13 people didn't buy. So Jim, because we had a true lead here, picked up his cell phone and texted all of them and said, hey, I noticed that you didn't buy. Is there anything I can help you with? We converted 9 additional sales. Okay? This has been up since December 5th. This has got so much play, it's about number 5 or 6 for Jim Fortin's own name in Google. I now clip off 1 to 2 sales of this per week. Week over week over week over week over week. This is done. This sits there as a digital asset in perpetuity, doing nothing but generating leads and opportunities and actual sales for me over and over and over and over again. Is that bitchin'?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you pass out those forms? So we're getting ready. I'm going to cut into your break by just 1 minute. I would love to talk to you guys about DNet. We are a subscription-based website. I'm not going to tell you pricing. I'm not even going to talk about that tonight. What I'm interested in, Maurice is handing out a form right here. What I'm interested in is getting these forms back because I believe that the only way we can improve is by true data. Okay? So on that form, there are a couple of things. There are a couple. Can I have one? Just one. If you say to me, oh my gosh, Casey, I need you to call me like tomorrow, okay? Then click off the 911. That means like I need help like today, whether it's website or SEO or any of that kind of stuff. If you're like, you know what, I'd love to have a consultation with you, Casey, spend an hour with me and we'll figure it out, we'll do it as a Google Hangout. I will put it on DNet as a blog post, and I would love to drive leads and opportunities, especially to a group of marketers' names, okay? And then if you have some questions or you might need some help on some of these areas, just go ahead and click it off. If you'd like to have me come speak to your organization, or if you know of an organization that might be in alignment with me and what I bring to the table, I would love to have you write that on there. And then just give the presentation a rating from 1 to 10. If you thought I was awesome, put a 37. Right?
102.
Right. Now, I said this, as you guys are filling those out, Craig, come on back up here. As you're filling those out, here's what I'm going to do with Stevie. I'm actually going to get her on a Google Hangout, do a quick Google Hangout with her, and then I'm going to say in the tagline, watch how I talk about Stevie Sullivan and her missed opportunity with Mike Filsaime.
Oh, man.
Maybe he'll.
You guys are in a marketers group. So you can not be marketers if you want and not be profitable, or you can be profitable and be marketers. I would never do that to Stevie without her. You know what she's going to do? She's going to say, that's okay as long as there's an affiliate link that people click on. I know her well enough to know. So
Knowing Stevie,
exactly. You guys, the reason I asked Craig to put this slide back up is here's the deal. This group is what's working now. This didn't work 6 months ago, and it may change a year from now. What Craig and Phil and the rest of the GKI team bring to you is stuff that's working like today, right? Maurice, what he brings to the table is what's working today. If you don't know your message, you got to get with Maurice, I promise you. If you want to talk DNet, Hank's around, Bruce is around, Craig's around. These guys are all part of DNet. They can answer questions for you. I would love to get all of these forms back before you leave. Please. With that, Craig, thank you so much.
give me a hand, everybody. Awesome. Listen, fill out those forms, hand them to Casey, to Maurice. Maurice, raise your hand. We'll give them to Maurice, and we're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll be right back. You can take a break, jump up and down, network, whatever you want. Go ahead and do that.